the UK initially. Took horses over there on deck cargo on a ship, and young naive man. And I stayed there 6 years, came back to New Zealand, came over here for 6 months, and then I went back to England, stayed there for another 6 years. And then in that time, you know, in the winter we did Florida a couple of times. We did Italy and Scandinavia a little bit. Well, you try everything, don't you? And you see somebody doing something and he's successful at it, you know, you give it a try. But at the end of the day, you sort of end up with what you're comfortable with. And, you know, it's something that's evolved over time. You learn a little bit here and there as you're travelling around. Of course, in Europe, it's all straight out trotters. There's no paces there. In America, it's mostly paces. So, yeah, there's a lot to pick up as you go along. Indulge in trotters anymore. Owners prefer the paces. Trotters are great if you get a good one. It's nothing like it, you know. No, you learn it as you go along, and sort of, as I say, the way I do things now is I'm very comfortable with, and I don't change it. It works. Yeah, you do. You meet lots of people from all walks of life, you know.
Yeah, he's always been a great horseman, Ray. He's sort of been around a while, and we actually stayed with him, you know, quite a few years ago when he was up in a place called Kiwi. I was driving a couple of horses that were staying there, so that's probably when I first got to know him, probably back in the early 90s. So, yeah, he's had a bit of history. He's been around the world, and funny story, I went to Ireland for a drivers series 3 or 4 years ago, and all the Irishmen kept asking about this Ray Green and said, how's he getting on? And they were all telling me he was a fantastic driver when he's in the UK, so he's got a bit of hidden talent. Trained Ray there for quite a few years, and I think back in the 70s, and yeah, they all remembered him, and all said to say good day to him. He was very popular and very well respected over there. He had a lot of good horses over the years, and you know, been really good at developing them, and you know, King of Swing's obviously been one, but also Line Up and Perfect Stride that I trained, that Sonia and I trained, that he developed them as well. So he's had a good record, not only of training, but also you know, producing good horses.
Yeah, my wife bought him for $7,000, and we raced him a little bit at 2, and he was a bit of a handful early on. And then as a 3-year-old, we sold him. We got offered good money, and can't turn down that sort of money, and he's really excelled for the new owner. Well, he was an owner that we had other horses with us at the time, and he was more than happy to leave him with us, and we've done pretty good. The horse has gone pretty good, so he's not willing to change anything, so it's good for everybody. The start before he came here was the worst race he's ever gone. So I was a little bit, you know, worried about how he would perform, but he soon put that one to bed, so we're pretty happy where he's at the moment. Yeah, I thought I couldn't fault where he was at, you know, post that race, but and hence here we are, you know. But since he's been here, he's thrived.
Copy that flying! Copy that over the top! What a win! What a win! Copy that! Motoring down the outside, he's beaten them.
Oh, he's been fantastic. You know, I knew he was a good horse from his record back in New Zealand, but he's probably stepped up since he's been here. He's turned into the complete package, and got a few more strings to his bow now, I think, than what he had. And I think this racing will do him good. You know, a bit of hard racing on the, you know, for the semi-grand circuit sort of thing. So, you know, he's going to have a great couple of years, I think. It's going to be tough now with King Swing where he is, but you know, he's a great horse anyway, so he would have been hard to beat wherever he drew, but it's just made that a little bit harder for us. But it's still a race, and you never know what's going to happen, so just have to keep the fingers crossed and hope for a bit of luck.
They're the sort of races that you really want to win, and we're sort of well placed to be at one of the main contenders. Draw's going to be important. I think that'll be a big pointer.
You can't plan it too much. He's probably going to lead and dictate the race, and you know, we just have to wing it a little bit. I'm drawn out at 5, which is not too bad, but you know, so we're just going to have to find a spot early and then play it by ear. You know, come down on the tempo of the race, that kind of thing, where the other sort of fancy runners are and all that. So, but yeah, it won't be easy.
At that level, you can't be too confident, and when you're fronting up to the likes of King of Swing, who was equally as good on last Saturday. Yeah, you can't be overconfident there. You've got to respect them sort of animals.